Welcome to Verbal Brick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. Today, we want to discuss the dynamic of Trump's mugshot and the fact that he's been indicted over and over again, and now this recent indictment that he's currently undergoing in Georgia. A lot of people, and black males in particular, are finding their way on the Trump bandwagon. But to discuss this, right, I want to bring on a familiar guest. That's Marcus Muhd to the show. Brother Marcus, welcome to the show.
Peace, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, brother. Now, this is the thing Now, from my perspective, the only reason I can even halfway see any alliance with Trump is the fact that he took his mugshot and made $7 million off of it by branding and making it profitable from T-shirts and mugs and whatnot.
Right.
That's hustling. I can understand the hustle. But to say that black males relate to Trump because of his indictments and his trouble with the justice system is the problem I have. Why? How? What statement is that saying in your humble opinion?
Well, to make a long statement short and to put it in layman's terms, low self-esteem, bro. Okay, I'm just gonna say low self-esteem.
Right.
And we can go into the science of it, into the history of it, and the neurological aspect of it. We can go into the chemistry, but I mean, if you just have self-esteem that's so low that you can only identify with an element in society or aspect of society, a caricature in society that is negative, that is non-productive towards you, that doesn't benefit you in any kind of positive way, who would actually cut you low as he could possibly cut you if he had the chance to, which he did, and he did.
Right.
Then guess what? You just deserve what you get, because there's enough knowledge out here and there's enough information on the information highway, if nothing else, that you can build yourself up from the low standard of thinking that you exist in.
Wow. Yeah. Well said. Yeah, because I'm trying to, because this is a serious discussion on the fact that even within the movie industry, even within society, in life within itself, they do portray us as we are the criminal element. They do try to say that we feel as though our rite of passage is doing time, and all this plays out because, a president now who is still leading the Democratic Party, right, said all kind of manner of things, done all kind of things, been impeached, indicted, lied, tried to steal the election. We all know about January the 6th, right? But yet, he's still able to outraise everybody as far as funding for the presidential campaign. And yet, he's still a contender to be the president of America. And a lot of people saying that he will win because he's getting more. And it's been stated, and it's been, as far as the polls have, that's being taken, is that more black people are leaning towards Trump. And it's like, have all morality just been thrown out of the window? It's just over with.
Well, it's a sad commentary for the man to be out of office for this long and still lead the Republican Party and be a major contender to win the presidency again, especially after all of the infractions, to say the least, that he's committed on the public, on the republic, on the democracy. Marcus Muhd came to seek and save the lost found sheep, to set them aright again, to restore them. And at first by giving them lessons. And one of the lessons say that, hey, why do the poor black man and woman, the once slaves, love the devil so much? And it's because the devil gives them nothing.
Give them nothing.
And now, if you can make sense of that, then you're on your way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense on the face of it.
Right.
None of this really makes sense because it's ass backwards, excuse my language, from what it really is supposed to be like in the world, in society. This is not the world of God. When you got so many liquor stores on the block,
right,
but you got way more churches on the block
right,
than you have liquor stores. You have crack houses, but you got way more churches than you have crack houses. Right. So that's just a little bit of evidence that this is not the world that the God intended that the world should be. And so, yes, it's still prevalent that negativity can rule. And it's because the people of God just haven't stood up and taken responsibility.
Well, right. Well, that's because, and that's true. But I think that may be the fact that the people of God are confused by God, meaning that whatever religious aspects that was given to black people wasn't that we follow wasn't presented to us by someone who cared and loved us. I'm trying to understand, and that's why I have you on the show, because I understand the vast knowledge, and especially dealing with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? And the reason why I say that is because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was against integration. And we finding out today that integration was a mistake. Now, back on the religious aspect, this is the dividing line, right? You got what they call the gangsters, I guess, right, who are lining up with Trump, right? I'm talking about as far as black people. Streets, the hood, the rappers, a lot of saying, because I remember hearing Ice-T saying, man, Trump not racist, right? But then on the other hand, now you saw what happened in Jacksonville, Florida, when white guy going to Dollar General and killed 3 black people. He was looking for black people to kill, right? The response was, some on the Democratic Christian response was, okay, we gonna sing Amazing Grace, and we gonna, find a way to forgive the killer, right? And it's like we're as a people splitting in two. You see what happened on August 5th? You had brother, they call him Aquaman, jumped in the water and swam to go get a hold of the whites that jumped the black security officer when he threw his hat up in the air, signaling, hey, man, I need some help. They jumping me, right? Because how do we split? Our minds are split. Your grandparents would say, hey, nonviolent. Violence is not the answer, right? But then one side say, hey, man, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, a knot for a knot. That's how you get justice in America. And, we going back and forth, and there's no clear, like we say, self-preservation is the first law of nature as far as mankind. So are we fighting against our nature and it's time? it's time telling us, hey, either you seek a way to save yourself or we'll take you out as well.
Well, the reason why it was taught that integration was a mistake, first because it was a big mistake, and it is because the same dynamic exists with a person who's addicted to controlled substances. The first thing you must learn how to do is to change your people, places, and things. If you can't go cold turkey on your people, places, and things, then you probably won't survive your recovery process.
Right.
And you probably relapse whatever you attempt to do, because your environment is going to keep you perpetuating in your own mind and your own chemical processes, really, that you need that dope.
Right.
You can't survive without that dope.
Come on.
You have to separate the person from the whole entire environment when his identity is that I am a dope fiend.
Right.
Now, when you drag a people across the waters and replace their minds with the mind that you want them to have in order for them to be willing shadow slaves, then you have to reacclimate the person to who he really is in order to make him back whole again. In order to make the person what the person was intended to be, what God created the person to be.
Right.
Not a slave, not an animal, but a person, a human being. Now, if you got people who taught you, hey, white supremacy, okay, I know we're limited in time. White supremacy. No matter what, the white person is supreme. No matter what you do, no matter what you are, no matter what your abilities are, no matter who created you, how you got here, where you are, no matter what you do, white is supreme. So, and if this goes on for 400 years, we're not talking about a kidnapped person who's suffering from, I forget the syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm.
You're not talking about a person who's been under kidnapped situation for 2 or 3 years and has Stockholm syndrome. We're talking about 400 years. So if you try to run, I'm going to cut your foot off.
Right.
If you try to have a woman, I'm going to take your woman and rape her in front of you.
Right.
And if you say anything about it, I'll rape you.
Right.
I'm going to take your children, sell your children. You never see them again.
Right.
And if you rebel, I'm going to slaughter your whole bloodline. You'll never know, where you came from. Your children won't either. You try to take me to court for it after we free you in Emancipation Proclamation. Who are you to sue me because you're not a human?
Wow.
You can go sharecrop. You can work that land. You can work that field. You kind of free. But if you come back asking me for the money that you work for, you're tripping because you're black. Now, if you go through all of this and then you try to exist on the same side of the track with the people who resemble the people who've done you this way, how can you recover?
Bruh.
Where's the justice? How can you justify yourself? You got to separate and reacclimate yourself to who you really are. First, that you're a human being. We haven't even got to what your talents and your gifts are and what you was created to be and all that old business. You know what I mean? What you're capable of. You don't even know you're human.
Right, yeah.
Okay? And so, how the hell are you going to put a man up in office that abused you, and then the dude abused the whole country, and here he is with a mugshot, halfway in jail, halfway out, and now you running over to him because he's now your hero because you've been through some of the same stuff. That's crazy. In layman's terms, Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And
put it in very, very cheap terms. Right. It's Stockholm syndrome. Okay, right. You can't do that.
Right. We don't know that would be the reason why we'll turn this country into a third world country. Because Trump is all about, and it will lead the country into chaos. Everyone will be it'll just be chaotic. It'll be, just out of control. But it seems like it might be a plan, and we might be following that plan unconsciously, but it seems like it's being done on purpose. You can't tell me, because if America's a corporation, you can't tell me the other players with the big money, the 1%, is allowing all this to happen for a reason. And you're right, we so caught up in media and TV in a sense to where we easily live like sheep. And the outcome, and none. I mean, look, when they at the head of it, at the end of the day, none of it came out good for us. We didn't come out smelling like roses, no matter who was in office.
It don't matter. Democrat or Republican.
It don't matter.
It's all a game.
That's right.
It's actually a game on the American people, but we at the bottom of the game. We don't even get a piece on the board. We just holding the table up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we the ones, since we're holding the table up, the candidates we're the first ones they run to for the votes. Look at the way Biden got into office. As soon as he was established that he was going to win, he went back home and said, "Hey, thank you guys. It was all about you. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here."
And that was it.
Biden.
That was it. And the people cheered. See, we get screwed on both sides. They do cheer Biden at his mediocrity because he's a Democrat, even though the Dixiecrats at one point was against the freedom of slaves. Now you cheer the Republican because he got a mugshot. No substance. So you're right. Now let me ask you this, though. Because you said something, man, that you touched on something. Can you separate in mind only, or does it have to be physically as well?
The condition that we're in, some of us actually need to be physically separated. Because when you see a person, you see physically.
Right.
When you work with a person, you work with them physically. You won't give yourself the right. You won't give yourself the credit. You won't give yourself the opportunity. It all belongs to somebody else simply because of a physical feature, skin,
right,
tone, color.
That's right.
And that's sad, but that's the way some of us are going to get whooped. You're going to be separated because you didn't consume the information and the knowledge that's available to you that you would operate as a human being. So you have to be separated in order for us to remind you that you are a damn human being. And now, after you learn your lesson, then we can reestablish you in a society, in the society of all cultures and all creeds and kinds.
Well, let us make the lessons plain, right? That way, it can help those who listens, right? And I'm talking
Absolutely.
about on this show. So it says that the devil can the devil fool a Muslim, and it says not nowadays, right?
Right.
Now, Master Muhammad came with a knowledge, right? And that knowledge was supposed to, where that knowledge was healing. It was medicine to repair us from that horrible turmoil of slavery time, that slave period, right? So why, if you digest that knowledge, then why wouldn't the devil be able to fool you? I mean, how can the knowledge stop the devil from fooling you? Because it said he can't fool, not, he did at one point, but he can't fool us today.
Well, I mean, knowledge. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now, I'm saying if you digest the knowledge. If you don't digest the knowledge, you're getting fooled over and over again.
Right. Right. You have to, man, first of all, you have to recognize that you need knowledge. That's how I throw it off some people off.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about black people. I mean, everybody got to know who the hell they are, man.
Right.
You know, you got some lost people out here.
Yeah.
That just don't know who the hell they. I mean, who are you?
Yeah, the 85 includes Hispanics. It ain't just black people. Yeah, come on.
I mean, and the common white people, white person.
That's right.
You got to know who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? So that, I mean, you may have all the power and the strength in the world, but you don't know who you are, and you're the Incredible Hulk. You're useless.
Right.
All somebody got to do is come and tip you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you use all your strength up, and you can't control your goddamn self.
Right.
You know, it's useless strength if you can't control what you got, man. If you can't use your talent for your own benefit, for your own family, what good is it?
Come on.
You know, were you put in the world to make a corporation stronger? Doing something that you was trained to do, knowing in your heart of hearts that you're supposed to be doing something way different than that? And so you're going to go through life doing that. Who the hell are you?
Right.
Who are you? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the.
And a lot of people out here in society are just angry at the next person because they're not in their own element.
Right.
And there's displaced anger because you should be in your own element, being happy.
Right. But you
know what I'm saying? It's the pursuit of happiness.
Right. But it
ain't the pursuit of propping up a corporation so you can pay a bill and you can have a vacation once a year. You know what I'm saying? And that you can, at the very least, put your children through college. You know what I'm saying? So they can go to college and get trained up to prop up the corporation for another generation. You're angry at another person's, and you finding a reason, which is skin color,
right,
to throw off your anger on the person. So you're going to suit up, go get an AR, go get your automatic rifle, and run up in a soft target facility and just murder people because you realize that this life has set you up.
Right.
And instead of you being a strong individual, instead of you being wise, instead of you being a real warrior and go to war with the situation, you just a damn coward. You go and get something that you could put a little pressure on your little finger and take somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, somebody's wife, somebody's grandmother out of the world, and then you go, hey, who are you?
Right.
Yeah. Is that what you're here for?
Right. That teaching that Master Muhammad brought is for everybody because they taught us, you right, pursuit of happiness, but you got to pursue self-love first in order to even recognize or to even know what makes you happy.
Correct.
If you don't have a knowledge of self.
That's right.
And this is the thing. This is the hard part, though, Brother Mark. This is the hard part. The hard part is getting that message into society on the importance of self-love and even how to love yourself, right? Because, for lack of a better term, I say Satan, devil, whatever. Because they have an agenda as well. But the question is, how can his agenda overrun God's agenda? When you was created by the nature of the we tied into the universe, we tied it onto the earth, we tied into nature. But and nature sustains us, but yet we'll let the Satan cause so much pollutants in some cities to where they getting sick. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, what the hell is going on? Ozone layer just depleted. We just burn it up down here. You know what I mean? And we had now the answer, and I don't care what organization and what group you belong to, but at the bottom line is, what is the mathematics and what is the science? And the formula that will make you whole. So if someone says, okay, well, God can't person Mesra Muhammad with this formula that'll make you whole. Okay, well, let me try the formula and see if I be whole. If I become whole, then it's good for everybody.
Right.
So the enemy then is anybody who says, don't read that. Don't go over there. Don't open that book. Why, you trying to keep me ignorant so you can use me as a tool then? Well, I don't want to be used as a tool.
Right. So why do we do it anyway?
Right.
Because fear is the last obstacle. It's the last challenge. Fear.
Right.
Because we have everything we need. I mean, David slew Goliath. If I shall go to the scriptures, David slew Goliath with a slingshot and 5 stones. But he did it with his brothers and a whole army of Israelites standing around who would even go on the field with Goliath.
Right.
You know, it's fear. We give evil power that it doesn't automatically have. We give it power. You know, power is everywhere. It's only exchanged from one conduit source to another. From one source through a conduit to another.
Right.
It's power.
It's power.
People don't create power. Power is here.
Right. Been here. Right.
But you give the enemy power for no other reason except that you're afraid of what might happen if you don't.
Right. Now I can't say this on not being afraid, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way. On dealing with Trump, he's shown no fear now.
Boy, fearless.
Fearless. He out there, man.
Hey, you know. That's why he is who he is. That's why where he at, you know.
That's why he wears right. That's why he where he at.
You know.
Don't give a damn. Put me, lock me up, whatever. I'm finna make this money. Yeah. I'm rolling. So what?
But he became the ruler of the free world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he just didn't. He didn't give the Republicans the power.
Right.
I watched the whole thing go down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He almost just went back to his private life, you know, swindling. You know what I mean? Just
hustling.
So he was like, "Wait a minute, you know,
right? I'm
not going to just let you handle me like that,
right?"
Know? And then it just became a whole game to him. But there was no fear.
Right.
And we gonna come against you with the CIA and the FBI and the army, goddamn it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you can learn something from. You can learn something from it.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you give power to things that don't deserve the power over you, man.
Right. That's the lesson. That is the lesson. You know, because you know he's showing us into a glimpse of their world that they tried to lock us out of. Even when he was talking about the system, he was like, "Hey, should I use it to my advantage? Y'all wrote it. You gonna get mad at me that I use the same system that some of y'all rich friends are using? Then if you don't like it, change the laws."
Yeah.
And we was like, "Well, what you talking about?" Because they blocked us out of how they play the game.
I thought democracy was just supposed to be automatic.
Right.
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. You know what I mean?
No.
We over here suffering. We found out all we had to do is file this form or put in this amendment or, do you know what I'm saying? That they blocked us. We had no clue.
No, man.
You can write off what on your taxes and how much if you do what, and you ain't got to pay no taxes. Well, why we ain't know this? And they've been using it for years.
That's right.
So when he came out and was breaking it down, it made people go back, start Googling, and it was like, hey, well, I'm finna do it too, and they worked for him. So some is like, okay, well, I appreciate the info. Yeah, you might hate me, but I take this info, don't use to my advantage. And that's where the Democrats mess up. They lips be shut. Only thing they gonna do is show up at the black church and talk about what happened, during the civil rights era.
All right.
But as far as breaking down business in this system, I don't see too many Democratic presidents that done that. Well, I ain't really seen too many, but it's like we stated earlier. No matter who was in office, hell, our situations ain't changed. You know what I mean? Hell, the shit going on as business as usual. I mean, you got some areas in town that looks like it's still 1960, 1970. You got some streets, man, in bad need of repair. Like, what's you gonna treat your citizens like this? You know? What the hell?
The citizens pay taxes,
right,
and don't demand nothing for their tax money. Then naturally, the next man is just gonna take your money and build his own neighborhood up, and just, keep crying, keep complaining, keep picketing, keep marching.
Right, keep picking, and because
if that's all you're gonna do about it,
right,
yeah, man, that don't even,
yeah, but yet you love your community so much you gonna shoot somebody for a block, but you're not downtown City Hall forcing them to clear the roads to make a better infrastructure for your community. Oh my God, Brian, I gotta say this. Man, look here, TSU. Check this out, though. I gotta say this. It pissed me off. So I'm trying to find out where to park my daughter's vehicle, right? So they sent me off of Cleburne to park at TSU's lot, right? Which was the wrong lot. So I drove over there, and the gate thing broke. Man, it was trash over there. I'm like, wait a minute, man. How y'all gonna send y'all back? Man, this was unsafe. I wouldn't let my daughter park up over there. Y'all, man, you gotta put lights up. Man, you got females at night. Put the damn care about your people. I know somebody giving money back to some alumni where they park at, have the lights up there. Even have a security guard. Fix the stuff up to make it appealing for the people. It's a university in the middle of Houston.
Right. They got the money from the band, from the football team.
Oh, man, HBCUs got to do better with their dorms, with the washrooms where the dryer and the washers are. They got to do. Now the food always be good, but you got to do better with the dorms and the water, the heater, the AC units, and the people sending their babies off to college. They want a big luxury, make them feel good. Don't be like, because, and I could be wrong, but to me it feels like they saying, well, hell, you came from the hood. A lot of y'all came from nothing, so you better be glad to get the little bit you do got right here. And we ain't got to spend that much money, on the students and making it look decent for them. We can put that in our pocket and spend it somewhere else. And there you go again, though. You right, Mark. The parents ain't gonna come up here and complain about it. Ain't nobody.
Students ain't gonna complain either. Everybody trying to win a spot on the corporate plantation.
Yeah.
As long as you get a spot on the corporate plantation, then you can ride this thing out, with what you got.
Yeah, you used to struggling here. That ain't gonna kill you, Wow, man. But like you say, pursue the happiness. We first class people, we want first class things. We want to enjoy life. We descendants of the Egyptians and our great civilizations. It's in us. You know what I mean?
That's true.
All right, but yeah, this is where we at. It's getting exciting. Election time coming up. The mayor's race in Houston is coming up. I'm go Robin Williams. We need energetic, young energy in the White House, because I'm sorry that 60s civil rights ideology is not sufficing in today's time, because the situations that we are dealing with, we need the mindset of millennials to push us to the future. Only thing that a lot of the older candidates that are running can do is try to replay the 60s and the 70s over again, but that time came and gone. We can't get it back. Mark, I ain't saying no name, but Mark, firsthand of trying to get the old band back together again, or get back what was once glory back in the day, and trying to mend it together in today's time. It don't work.
Well, time changes everything, bro. And everybody know that. You can't deny that much. Time is gonna change things. If you don't stay on top of your game, then the game changes, and then you don't have the same advantages anymore.
Right.
Now you have to come up with a whole new strategy. Got to come up with a whole new plan of action based on how the game is now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so for somebody like James Clyburn to just hand over the whole race to somebody who once made us, that once set the laws out there hunting us down like we was animals.
Right.
Restricting you out, Mr. Biden.
Right.
It was just, we can't go with, that old stuff got to die off like the old Israelites, just,
Right.
You ain't gonna do what I say do because I say to them, I just let you die off and let another generation come up, man. Cause I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm here for eternity. Y'all can play this game.
Right.
But if you with this old mindset, and I'm not talking about old people.
Right.
I'm talking about this old mindset.
Right.
You want to continue with that and think you're going to be successful, keep trying.
Yes.
But I'll just let you die off and let a younger, more vibrant, more up-to-date, somebody who's on time with what needs to be done, come up here and take care of business. And that's what I hope to be taking place in this upcoming election.
Oh, come on. Well said, bro. On time for Houston. Yes, bro, that's well said. Well, bro, man, I really appreciate the intake and intellect on Vropic Radio on this, because this issue that we just discussed, see, it takes time for it to unfold, and as people listen to the show, they get to understanding certain things as we get closer to the election, as certain events starts to show itself, and then you can understand why. But where we say we give you a verbal image of life, that's prophetic. We showing you verbally a picture for the future that we got to walk through, because the writing's on the wall, the warning signs is everywhere. It's saying, it's pointing, you know what I mean? Don't go over there, but we trying to wake you up like them zombies, eyes closed, they just walk right on into the pit. Open your eyes, wake up, and you don't have to walk into the pit. You know what I mean? But their job is to keep you asleep. So, and they good at their job, Brother Mark.
Oh yeah.
See, they mastered it. They done mastered their job. The art of illusion. They make you think something is when it's not.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. Okay. That's their thing to do. If what they do is against you, then what you should be first is somebody who's going to resist, and figure out a good way to resist this thing, because they're not going to stop just because your feelings hurt.
Right.
Just because you deserve justice, they ain't going to give it to you because you deserve it, You ain't figured that out yet, then damn, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. So, man, I gotta ask you this though, because we gonna stretch this out just a little bit longer, Brother Mark. But look, we gotta ask you this though.
Yes, sir.
What's the purpose of the supreme wisdom?
Supreme wisdom is supposed to put you on point with reality, because we've been living outside of reality.
Right.
We've been deceived by an arch deceiver.
Right.
All across the globe. So the supreme wisdom is supposed to wake you up and prepare you to take you to the next level. Because the book that they've been operating from, they've mastered the book, like you just said. They've mastered their book, done what they needed to do with it. But the time dictates that the next book has to come so that this thing can go further.
Come on.
It's not supposed to go the way it's going. And that's why you see epidemics and pandemics and disasters, natural disasters, and quote-unquote global warming. It is because the rulership is operating outside of nature, which is against freedom, it's against justice, it's against equality, it's against righteousness. That cannot continue. And if you think you can continue to do that, just keep trying. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Nobody has to argue with you and fight with you about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So keep something heavy, look up in the sky, throw it up in the sky, and look at it and watch what happens.
Right.
It's coming down.
Nothing you can do about it either.
There's nothing you can do. Nobody has to tell you anything. 1 plus 1 is going to be 2.
Right.
You can try to fight that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But naturally, 1 plus 1 is 2.
Yeah.
So the supreme wisdom, we call it supreme wisdom, but it's actually natural equation. Okay. It's just the way things ought to be.
Right.
The most profound knowledge is the knowledge of self and nature.
Right.
It's like right there under your nose, right in your face, except that a veil has to be lifted off of our eyes to make us realize what is going on here.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Last question.
Yes, sir.
So, before this thing comes to an end, right, should we just give out the supreme wisdom, even if some are not qualified, and just so they can say, you were taught or or here it is. Just give it to everybody.
But nothing comes into existence except by the permission and the will of God.
Right.
And we have this thing called the internet. And on that thing, you can find anything.
Right.
So, it ain't up to us whether everybody going to have it or not. They got to get it.
They got to get it. Well,
that's the way, yeah.
Anybody that's listening, go Google Supreme Wisdom, right? Master Farad Muhammad to his messenger, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and start reading. And I want to say this. Now that I said it here, I got to do it. And, you know what? We'll do it like this. Every so often, we'll pick pages out of Supreme and break some of it down for those who read it and quite don't have an understanding, or help you get on the right path of where it's going in order to brainwash you, meaning wash out that old slave master knowledge out your brain and put some new self knowledge that will benefit you, the individual. And then once you've cleaned up or better yourself, then you can go out and help better serve your loved ones and the people around you.
Yes, sir. And I would also like to add to that.
Yes, sir.
To be congruent with the scriptures, where it says that how would they know except they have a teacher?
Right.
Some things have to actually be taught, and you have to be guided into the knowledge and understanding of what the supreme wisdom is actually stating. Even though you're looking at the words, a baby can look at meat, but he can't eat and digest it.
Right.
Safely, in a healthy way.
Right.
He could, but may not be the best way to consume it.
Right.
Sometimes maybe if the baby ready for some meat, the parent will chew it for him,
right,
and give it to him. So I wouldn't play with this supreme wisdom just like it's just any kind of, because you might find yourself under the bridge talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got right. Well, I got you.
You know.
Yes, sir.
You got to kind of understand what you're dealing with there.
Right.
That's something that is described as revelation.
Right.
So if you get too much of it all at one time, don't blame nobody if you misunderstand something and you apply it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
You need to get somewhere with some other people and kind of have your basis of understanding. You have to have a frame of reference. You understand what I'm saying? With knowledge.
Exactly. I was coming from the aspect of, look, you got young folk, and because I didn't see this coming up. You got young folk, man, at the corner store begging for money. I'm saying, well, hey, man, read this. This might change your outlook on reality. It might get you, because you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be so powerful antidote to pull you out of that condition. The jails in Harris County, folk dying in jail, man. His jails are packed. Hey, desperate times for desperate measures is what I could be wrong. I'm thinking, man, this is a desperate time. Here goes some measures that's been proven, because I know it works, because if it didn't, you wouldn't have Muhammad Ali or Malcolm X, or Arnold Louis Farrakhan, Jeremiah X. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have these greats. So we know if we Clarence 13 next whole 5% nation, man, what is it? It's there.
Yeah. And so now it's like people have access to what we have studied and have applied in life and trained on and went out and actually worked and experimented with. So, man learned by experimentation.
Right.
And so if you think about it, we actually had to go through a process to even get that book put in our hands.
Yes,
bro.
sir.
And there's a reason for that.
Right. You
know,
right.
And I think you have to go through some sort of course of qualification to actually understand what you might be able to just click on, just do a couple of keystrokes and grab.
Okay. You right. Well, look, I'm gonna help y'all. I'm gonna help y'all not go crazy, right? Me and Brother Mark finna help y'all not go crazy, right? Cause you right. Now I'm gonna give y'all I'm finna give y'all the context of this, so it don't blow your mind when you read it, right? Now the diameter of this Earth is 7,926 miles, right? Now, why was that important for us to know the diameter of the Earth? Right? This is your planet. You should know all about it. It's not spooky. You know what I mean? The weight of the Earth, that's not to blow your mind. It's just that you need to know this is a part of you. You are mathematics. So those of y'all, when I said go Google the Supreme Wisdom and start reading it, when you get to things like that, don't let it blow your mind. Meaning, you understand that it's a part of you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had to put that in there so somebody might flip their lid to where they thinking they can actually hold the earth in their hand or something. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what that was about. Brother Mark, man, as always, bro, I appreciate you on the show for enlighten the people on a different plane of knowledge, but that's also as important as any other knowledge you study. That's the point. The supreme wisdom is, if not more important than what you study. That's why it's very important that male and female. It's important. Make that part of your curriculum. Start reading that supreme wisdom. Make it part of your curriculum and start understanding, especially the math problem. Man, you start breaking some of the mathematic problems, you'll be at NASA somewhere. So there you go. Right here.
That's actually where NASA get it from.
Right, come on, man. Yeah, go straight to the source.
That's right.
Right.
So, the Earth moving at 1,037 and a third mile per hour, and we how far from the sun? Just start putting the math together. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we have to remember, that the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. Isn't a perfect sphere, a square. I mean, a circle.
Right.
It's definitely not square and flat like come on, people. Stop tripping with yourself. Stop it.
Right.
It is round, right, but it's not perfectly round.
Like oblong.
It's oblong, like the shape of your head. So when it's spinning, that's how you get your seasons.
Come on.
Let's tell you something about yourself, because if your body comes from the earth, don't expect perfection. You do have to perfect their rotation and that revelation around the sun. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Not just the S-U-N, but the S-O-N.
That's right.
So we got to get it together, man.
We got to get it together. A Hurricane Idalia headed towards Florida. Idalia means behold the sun. The sun is coming. Man, bro, you just don't know, bro. I can go on for the simple fact that it's something that's aligning in this universe at this particular time, because things are starting to pop up, and certain topics are starting to be discussed, and it's something that's in place right now, that's getting ready to reveal itself, and these are just the beginning stages to that point.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Verbal Prick Radio. Appreciate it, Brother Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. We are.